Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Glenn with GC Extreme. Today we're doing a quick video working on this customer's 1996 GTI with the 717 engine. Following this little short video series, customer from South Dakota drove 2 hours to bring me this ski for me to work on because he can't find anyone in his area to work on it. Basically, he needs the routine maintenance done. We need gas lines. We need carbs rebuilt. We need new oil injection lines. That stuff. I haven't even looked at the pump yet to see what it needs, but we did find a Welch plug exhaust leak. These 717s and 787s are notorious for these exhaust leaks at the Welch plugs. That is these round spots right here on the exhaust, specifically on the 717. It's this one right here between these two fittings. I'll take this off and you can see a closer look, but it's in between these two fittings. As you can see, I have already ground it down with my grinder, ground off the original cap, and we are ready for a new cap to get welded on. This is aluminum, so you're going to want to find a local aluminum shop or welding shop that can weld aluminum. They may have some issues with it. I've had one guy that he couldn't do it. I don't know if he just didn't know what he was doing, but I've been taking it to one shop and he's done a pretty good job with it. Now you can get these replacement caps or the discs, the aluminum discs, just circular discs. They're about, I think, 1.25 inches or so, that go right over it, and then your welder guy can just weld them right over them. Nice and easy. You can get those discs at OSD Marine. The link will be in the description for those discs. Otherwise, you can probably make your own pretty easy, but if you don't have access to that. But if you want to help out your welder guy, go ahead and ground that down, have those discs, so you can just take it to him, say, hey, here, weld this, so he can, all he'll have to do is hook his clamp up to it for ground or whatever, lay that on there, run a bead over, maybe smooth it out with a little grinder, and you're good to go. My welder guy can literally do this in less than 10 minutes. It's super fast at it, getting his welder set up. So do yourself a favor if you have a grinder and safety glasses and grind that down. Just a grinder and grinding disc, all you really need. Grind it smooth and as flat as you can get. Your welder guy might have to do a little more grinding to get it smooth to his likings, or for a lead-in for the weld for the bead. And then, of course, throw some purple paint or whatever paint you want on it, and you're good to go. And it should last you another 20 years. But again, it's always on the 717s, it's normally this one right here between these two fittings that likes to leak. So that's the rundown on replacing that. Set that down here for now. To remove the pipe on these 717s, it's not rocket science. Have the right tools. This one was a little weird because it has 4 posts coming up from the manifold. Normally there's just 1, and then you have 3 bolts. So someone rigged up 4 posts on this. But basically you're going to need a 13mm socket or wrench, and then a 10mm for the hose clamps on the big hose clamp on the exhaust, and then a 13mm for the bolt holding the exhaust pipe to the manifold on the side. And I will show you all those details in just a minute. Literally took me less than 20 minutes to get this pipe off. Would have had it off a lot easier if this one wasn't modified as per se. So we've got the carbs off, we got holes plugged, but we will get this welded up. We'll get a new exhaust gasket on. We'll get that in. We'll get this thing cleaned up. I'm waiting on my carb parts from OSD, but while I'm waiting on them, I've got gas lines. So I'm going to replace all the gas line in this. And I've got oil filter and oil line on the way. I do have some oil injection line. I think I can finish the oil injection line on this while I wait for parts. Today is Tuesday. I won't have those parts in till probably Friday from OSD. but I like to keep moving along with this project because I've got another customer coming very shortly this weekend to bring in me his ski, so then I can look it over and then get parts ordered for that ski and then work on it the next weekend. So always customers bringing me their skis. So let's dive in and let's show you all the bolts and stuff that need to be removed from this. Now, as I said, this one is modified. As you can see, we have 4 posts here. These are 8mm thread. You need a 13mm wrench to get these off. Normally, it's just 1 post right here. This is normally your 1 post. And then you have 3 socket head bolts. That's what they normally always are on these, but this one's been modified. Then you have a bolt back here. And this isn't the stock bolt either. This one, for some reason, has a smaller head. It's like a car bolt or a different bolt. It's not even stainless. But this was a 10mm head. It's a smaller head. It's supposed to be a 13mm head with 8mm bolt. So hard to see, but yeah, not the right bolt. We'll get that replaced with the right bolt. So basically, you have your hoses which connect here to there. From here, where the exhaust pipe sits in here, that goes to your one hose. So you got to disconnect the hoses, and then you have this clamp here. These take 10mm wrench. Get on here with a ratcheting wrench, and you can get this loose. It's always better to undo your clamp for the water box so you can push that back. You can push that back and get that rubber boot and that off of the exhaust. So it comes off right there. So as you can see, this sits right in there just like that. That's where that 1 bolt is, and then you have the other 4 up here. This one back here sits right up against the hull, and that one can be a pain to get at. So basically very easy. You've got 4 bolts on this one, or on yours it'll probably be 1 nut and 3 bolts, and then this 4th bolt, and then your 2 nuts down here to release to get that. That's basically all you need for tools to get this thing off. It is a pain to work in here in this area to get to this one, so be prepared for that. I washed this thing a little bit. I don't have any degreaser, but I did get the engine a little bit cleaner. I'm going to get some more degreaser, and then I'm going to pressure wash it. I just sprayed this out with a hose. I didn't hit it with the pressure washer. So we are going to get this thing clean. But we'll get these oil lines changed, oil filter changed, of course, and get those gas lines removed. So now through the video, the power of magic, video editing and magic, we'll cut to this being welded up, and we'll be installing this thing back in 3, 2, 1. And boom, we got this thing welded up, and we just got some fresh paint on it. It's been a few days later, and I'm actually in the garage. It's windy and rainy or cloudy outside, probably going to rain. So I'm working on this GTI here in the garage now. But got some fresh paint on this sucker. I got to put the fittings back on, and then we will get it installed in the ski. During the break, I also got carbs installed. Of course, I rebuilt them. And grab my flashlight here. And as you can see, we got fresh oil line there and there. We got all oil lines in. Got our valve in, new filter, of course. I got to situate that, set that box back in, but I probably need it loose. I'll probably have to do that after the pipe is in, because I think it kind of crashes with the pipe. But yeah, so the carbs are all rebuilt and in. I got to put the air box on, and we will get the idle set once we get started. I'm going to throw in the proper spark plugs. I've got it set over here. So the number for these are BR8ES 3961. And these have the solid caps. That's the ones you want for these solid caps. These are BR8ESs, but they are the twist-off caps. And these caps here can vibrate loose and cause spark issues. So if you're in a pinch and that's all they have, you can use these, but I highly suggest the solid cap ones. So they are your best route to go with these. So we'll get these out and get the new ones in. And I do want to get this hull cleaned out a little bit once we get all stuff back together. I've been spraying some degreaser in there to help break stuff up, loosen stuff up. So yeah, I also replaced that water line for the pisser. And some other things I might not have mentioned, but maybe I did. But we'll get these new plugs installed. I'll have to get the right wrench and spark plug socket and get these things installed. I'm going to get the right bolts or right bolt to go here, because they had this one here, which is not the right bolt. It's not even stainless. So we'll get these all tightened and squared away. So basically just kind of get some stuff buttoned up, clean up this spray paint overspray on the pipe. Once this gets, it was mostly dry, but I had it sit, I had moved it on the ground so the wife could bring in her car the other day, and the paint got scuffed there. But I got to get the fittings installed here and the hose, and we will be good to go. Also firing up my computer, and I'll get my can-do ready to, we will see how many hours are on this and do a log report for the service. So then if he brings it back, I can tell how many hours he's put on it since I've worked on it. So yep, so I'm gonna get some stuff ready and we will continue on. Also doing another customer projects customer project ski that is a 2000 XP. I got the cover on it out there. It's that black one. There'll be a video of that up too. I just recorded a video of me taking the, doing a video of talking about all the stuff I found when I removed the exhaust pipe and the carbs. I got the carbs over here. This 951 carbs. So I'm gonna be rebuilding these. I got to get my work area clean, but I get too many projects coming through here, so yeah, we will get this done, and then we will hit both of these projects, and then hopefully the customer will come and get this on next Saturday. Today is Sunday. He's going to come get it hopefully next Saturday. And we'll get this thing cleaned up and in a little better running condition for him. I'm also going to take the reverse bucket off and the nozzle off the pump. I'm going to inspect the stuff for him and check the oil for him as well, and see if he wants to go that'll probably delay us another week. If so, to get stuff done for that. I do have everything I need for that rebuild too. It's just the time. Parts and time is always the issues that keeps me up. Is if I have the parts, I don't have the time. Then when I have the time, I don't have the parts. Leave a comment if you have the same issues. So, but yeah. So I'm going to work on getting this stuff ready. I'm going to gather up my bolts I need for this, and we will get this thing on. Okay, so got the fittings in pretty much in the right position. Got the hoses hooked up, and I had to replace a grommet, or I replaced both these grommet holders. These old ones were worn, and I got new ones installed. And I put a little clear silicone around it to help them stay in place, because they like to kind of fall out when you're installing everything. I'll get zip tie on this one, and I'll tighten all this stuff up once everything is in position in the engine bay. So set this over here for now. I got to get a new gasket for that. I got one over here I had out already. So it's the 717 gasket. And the biggest issue I have here is they use nylon lock nuts here, which isn't a bad thing. Normally you just use a washer and a lock washer. But they replaced all these studs, and the studs, of course, are rusting. But we're going to I'm going to clean it up with a wire brush the best I can. And we'll get this pipe installed. I still got the old gasket there because I covered everything up while it was sitting outside. Didn't want anything to go down inside there. But yeah, we got everything. We just got to get this pipe back in. And yeah, if this was my ski, I would definitely pull out the rest of these pipes and paint them as well. But at least this is going to look somewhat decent. So we just got to get this thing installed, guys. I'm going to round up my bolts. I've got some stainless bolts and everything else I will round up, but just wanted to give you guys a tip on putting some clear silicone around that to hold that in place. And it works pretty well. So the pain's going to be getting that clamp in there, tighten on that and secure. That's going to be kind of I always fight with those. So let's get some bolts and get some stuff started and get those, I'm going to get those studs cleaned up a little bit. So, okay, so used a little wire brush here, cleaned them up pretty good. And we'll get this duct tape off of here now. The old gasket off. Whoops, sorry, my finger's in the way. Always kind of go away from the holes. Okay. And our new gasket, just like that. Okay, I'll get my bolts and we will get this exhaust started. Okay, so it's kind of an art to get this thing in here. This gray box in the way. Like I said, you gotta fight that. There we go. So she's basically in position. I'll get this stuff out of the way. Get this hose on like that. Okay, I need to turn that one fitting. Let's see if I can get that turned. There we go. Should be good just like that. Now I'll get some washers and some lock washers. I thought I had some M8 nuts, but I guess I don't have any right nuts for those. And this will go right here eventually. It'll be one of the last things we hook up. So Getting this one up in here is a pain. But let me grab some hardware. So I got lock washers and washers here. I only have one nut, and I'm going to stick that on this one that's a pain to get to. That's underneath the pipe there. I'm going to put that one there. We'll get our washer and our lock washer. Now the nut, you may not have room. You may have to lift up the pipe to get that nut started. And I'm about to drop it. And get it started. There we go. So that one is started. I'm going to have to run to the hardware store to get some more stainless nuts. I really don't want to reuse these zinc ones, but I guess I can, but I don't like that. Get these washers and the lock washers on. Now what's weird with these is if you look at the diagrams from your owner's manual or your part schematics, some years will tell you they use, well, most years they have actual socket heads here, not these studs on these three. But they have socket heads with, some years there's just a washer, some years there's a washer and a lock washer. So I don't know what the difference is, why they vary. But I'm going to put these on here just for now. Help hold this into place. Now I've got my rear one. I'm going to put some blue Loctite on this. So I'll put a little blue Loctite on this bolt. And it is a pain to get at in here and try to get into this tight spot. It's even harder to get it started and get it tightened. I think we're started. Now one of these, if you have one of these that's shorter, a 13 millimeter ratcheting one that's about half this size, actually works a lot better, because what's going to happen is you're going to hit your hole as you try to tighten it. And make sure I'm going lefty-loosey. Okay. This wrench was just a little shorter. Get her snug. Yeah. I gotta grab my 13-inch socket. I'm gonna tighten all these up, but I'm going to replace these zinc nylon nuts. But I want to get everything squared and tightened first. And then I'll go back once I get to the hardware store and I'll replace these. So, get her snug. Let me grab my, I don't know if I can get some of these with this, but oops. This one back in here is going to be a pain. I'm going to need my wrench for the socket for that. Yep. Okay, I'm gonna grab my socket. And if you have a good wobbly one, that works great because it's tied up against the hull right here. This one right here, it's a weird angle. Almost impossible to get at. Yeah, I think if I get maybe I can get it with a short 13. Okay, maybe I can get in there with this. Not much better, but a little better. There, I think I'm on it. Like I said, there's very little room to work with. Then make sure this nut is tight on this one. There we go. So now we just need to get this clamp mated to that. And there is a trick to these. I was just on the forum talking to a guy that was having issues because it keeps slipping off and blowing off. If you over tighten it, you kind of have the reverse effect. It squeezes it off. And of course, if you under tighten it, it'll blow off anyway. So there's a sweet spot. I don't know. I have to look it up to see what the exact torque is, but the torque's going to vary. That's a starting point, really, because it doesn't know how much wear that rubber gasket has, or the actual condition of the outer flange of the pipe. So, or the stretch of those bolts. Sorry. But on my personal ski, what I did was I took off the rubber boot that's underneath that clamp, and I used black RTV gasket maker around the edge where it helped hold that boot onto this surface and this surface. So I put black RTV gasket maker all around that and in that boot, that clamp, to help hold it. And it's been going, I think, 2 or 3 seasons now without blowing off. So that seems to be a good way to solve that problem. But you don't want to over tighten these because you will also strip out the threads of those if you struggle, because in my fight I've done that before and had to replace that whole clamp. So just keep that in mind, guys. But the exhaust is almost on. We'll get our air box on, and we will get this thing fired up, and we will set our idle. We'll get some final touches done too before the customer. I'll get those nuts swapped out eventually before he comes to get those up. I need to stockpile my collection of stainless nuts and bolts anyway. So, and we will get the inside of this cleaned up. As you can see, it's I've been spraying degreaser in there to help break some stuff up. We'll give it a good pressure washing, but I think it'll clean up pretty nicely. So I'm gonna get logged into my computer and we'll get hooked up and we'll check our hours on this thing. So, but I'm gonna work on that clamp as well. So you need a 10mm wrench or a deep well socket for that. So keep that in mind. Also, the previous owner used a lot of RTV sealant on this. I don't know if they were having issues before, but I don't like to use that unless 100% necessary. But they even replaced the studs, so I'm thinking they were having issues. So, okay, let's get some more stuff done here. Okay, so I got the exhaust pipe pretty much in, hoses and stuff. Now we're doing programming a new key for the customer with their can-do. This, at least the computer has 367 hours and 51 minutes. So we're 9 minutes short of 368 hours. That engine number matches what's on the engine. We got our VIN number there. And I added the customer's name along with the VIN number there. It looks like the last time this was at least accessed looks like, I'm not sure how to read that date. It looks like, I don't know, it's something, so the year was 96, 06, 14. At least that's not been changed. I do not know. So I reset the rental hours and I reset the last service hours. So we have today's date, the year 25, June 08. So that's when it was last serviced. So, and we got our new keys and we did a report, generate report. So there's our report. So got our new keys and let's see, vehicle, venues, no, license. That's all my stuff. So, yeah, there's not much you can do with the can-do with the carb engines. I was thinking there was something we could do with maybe on the 800. There's advanced timing. We could disable the DES as well, but. So, but yeah, there's not much we can do here with carb machines. So, other than check our hours and program keys, at least on the 720. So, we're good to go there. I got to get the air box on, and we will get this thing fired up. Okay, so we don't have the air box on yet. Got the new spark plugs in, of course. Got our boots on, spark plug boots. We got our tiny tack hooked up, so eventually we can set our RPM. And then we'll get the air box on, make sure our RPM is good. But let's give her a test fire up. So I squirted a little starting fluid in the spark plug hole, give us a little boost. Well, she fires up. We can adjust that idle. I think this is incorrect. This is one of those tiny tacks that I can't adjust, and I don't know what it's set at. It's reading 6,000 RPMs, but that's not 6,000 RPMs. Yeah, it's reading 6,400 RPMs. And I think that might be, if we cut that in half, that'll be what? Half of 64 is what, 3,200 RPMs? So that's pretty close to where we need to be at. Let's see if I can adjust this. Of course, we don't have the air box on, so that's going to be a little, once we get that air box on. But I'm going to turn it down just a tad, see where that puts us. put us down to about 6,200 RPMs. Of course, this is saying about 6,200 RPMs. So I'm guessing that's about 3,100 RPMs. Thinking this is set for different spark revolutions. So really aggravating, because when I bought this, I thought it was the same as the other one, but there's no button here to change it like the other ones I have. So when you buy these tiny tacks, make sure you get the right one, or the one that you can adjust for the sparks for the settings. Let's get that air box on. And that'll give us that'll hamper it a little bit, so that might put us where we need to be. But yeah, for what, a 367 hour computer, at least, we don't know if that's the original computer for this. But if this thing has got 360 hours, almost 360 hours on it or whatever, if that's the original computer, original engine, this thing has got a lot of hours on it, but it's still got good compression. It still feels like a strong engine. Which, also, I didn't mention that some of the head bolts are all fine, have all the paint, some of them have flaked off, but as far as I can tell, I'm guessing that this head's never been removed. It's hard to say, because I got one bolt here where the flange is flaked off. I got another bolt where it looks like the edges have been hit. But all the other bolts, I mean, I got probably 3 bolts look like they've been touched out of the 12. Or the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, out of the 12 bolts, I only got 3 of them that look like they've been touched. So, I don't think this head has been removed off this engine. Just my personal opinion. But my next goal is to take the pump stuff off, not the pump off, but the nozzle and the reverse bucket, and inspect the oil and inspect the wear ring for the customer. And then, depending on what I find, I'll see if he wants me to repair it or do maintenance on it. That would involve removing the pump, cutting the old wear ring out, and doing all that work again. Gotta love working on jet pumps. So, get this tightened up. Okay, now we'll get the air box lid on here. Some of these get warped and they don't want to fit properly. This one's going back together mostly pretty good. There we go. All the snaps are locked. Okay, let's get her started and see where our idle is at with that air box on. It's idling at about 60, 50, 60, 100. So I'm gonna adjust it down just a bit. Probably a little too much. We're at about 5,800. Now again, I think that is incorrect. I think we're double, so I think that's about 20. That's just under 3,000 RPMs, I think. Our pipe's still not hot, so we're close. We are close. It's okay. One more time, then we'll let it cool more. We're so close. Okay, I'm gonna let it cool. I don't want to run it anymore. This is I'm about 6,200 RPMs, give or take. But it wants to jump up all over. It goes from 5,000 to 6,000. That's why I'm kind of blipping it, trying to see where it's gonna rest at. But I want it to be about 3,000 RPM. So since this is doubled, this has to be real close to 6,000. Because I think this is wrong. So, but we'll let it rest and we'll get it dialed in. Don't want to overheat it. Just do it in short bursts like that. I'll give it 45 minutes to cool down, then I'll try it again. But yeah, this thing, it seems to idle pretty good. I gotta get that, in that zone. But she's starting up nice. She'll start up nice. So she's getting gas. Carbs seem great with that rebuild kit from OSD Marine. Hit up Nick Grillo at OSD Marine for your carb rebuild kits and any other parts you need. But yeah, this is just about done. Wrap this up. I'm going to inspect that pump, get this finished dialed in, and it'll be ready to go to the customer. So hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video. This will probably be the last video. Maybe I'll get a chance to water test this. I do not know. We've got rain coming the next few days. And I told the customer he can come get it Saturday. Maybe I'll take him to the lake if he wants to go to the lake, but he's got 2-hour drive. That way he can take it to the lake maybe, and he can ride it and make sure he's happy with it. Might record that again. All these bunch of ifs. I don't know what's going to happen. So it might be the last video on this customer ski. Might not. Don't know. But thank you for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe. If you're into these old two-strokes, you got questions, want to share your opinions and thoughts on carb rebuild, jet work, jet pump work, and any general maintenance, leave your comments and suggestions in the comment sections, and make sure you subscribe, guys. And stay tuned for more water videos and another customer ski project coming up with that 2000 XP. So we'll get busy on that. So see you guys in the next video. Peace out. So we got the nozzle and the reverse bucket off of the pump, and the impeller looks good, and the wear ring looks good. As you can see, it's hard to tell, but trying to get some light in there, but zoom in. But yeah, it's not much of a gap in there. You can see right in there. It looks good. But our problem is, well, we got our plug off, but our problem here is she's bone dry. She is like dry. There's like no oil. And so yeah, she is dry. Trying to get in there, but yeah, she's dry. So we're going to add oil for this customer, and we will, hopefully we'll be good. Hopefully hopefully it wasn't ran too long, too dry. I do have it at an angle, so there might be a little oil in there, just not much. It should be pretty full. So hopefully it wasn't ran too much like this, and hopefully our bearings and shaft aren't good. But we're going to put oil in it and put this back together and get it sent to the customer, and hopefully he won't have any issues with that. So yeah, so the blades look good, the impeller look good, tips look good, the wear ring looks good. We just need oil. So we'll get the oil added, and hopefully the customer won't have any issues with those bearings. So
thank you for watching this video. Please hit the like button and subscribe. Thanks.